Good afternoon and welcome to Hill Stadium in Saco and CTV 30's coverage of Thornton Academy High School football. This afternoon, it's the annual Battle of the Bridge. Thornton Academy versus Biddeford, both teams coming in at 4-3. Hello everybody, I'm Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan. Tony, a Thornton fan all year long until it gets to this game, and of course, his true colors come out. And a Thornton-Biddeford matchup, it's going to be big because playoff implications hanging in the balance. The winner gets home field advantage next week, gets the number 4 spot. The loser could fall only to 5 and maybe meet again if Thornton were to lose. Biddeford could fall to 6 and have to play the big 3, of course, being Marshwood, Portland, and South Portland. Looking at this game, Tony, what do you think the breakdown of the actual matchup is?
Well, Thornton Academy's had a little difficulty throwing the ball all year, and with this win, it's even going to heighten that problem. And with Brian Thompson breaking his thumb over the week, it really hurts your running game. He's done a good job when he's coming in those key situations for Jared Trudeau. But up front, Biddeford has a good front 8, Justin Drapple being the middle of that defensive core. Passing-wise, though, if Thornton can pass on Biddeford, it's going to loosen up that front 8. They're going to be able to run on them.
Thornton Academy once again banged up just a little bit. Thompson, as we said, the broken thumb. Mercier was a little banged up this week during practice, but he should be all set to go. Thornton, as you said, the passing game key for them to loosen up. And as you can see, a very windy, blustery day at Hill Stadium. Rain expected during game today, so it could really worsen the conditions for them to play this afternoon. Biddeford offensively, Thornton's been tough defensively, so their offense needs to do something different. What do you think they need to do?
Offensively, I think Thornton has to come out and run the ball. You're not gonna be able to throw a lot of passes in this one. The ball's gonna be floating, and Biddeford's got some decent defensive backs. Nate Gaddy, Joey Drabble, meaning a couple of them. It's gonna be hard, and Mercer's gonna have to be in the backfield. He, as we saw last week, he does everything for them. So offensively, I think they have to run the ball, then pass, instead of pass and then run.
And of course, Biddeford, without the big quarterback, the last 4 years, they've had a kid that can really light it up on the offense. LaRiviere and Tremblay being there and really being the height and the main focus of the offense. Goslin, a good quarterback, but not the kid that really can control a game, and that'll be the key for Biddeford, I think, today.
Oh, Biddeford definitely is going to have a problem. Quarterback-wise, Goslin's had those shaky games. He's looked good in some games, not looked good in others. Really big test for him today. Thornton Academy's front 8 done a superb job against the run. So that's Biddeford's trademark. They love to run at you. I mean, it's going to be a great game up front, but it's going to depend on how Goslin throws the ball. He's had a real difficult year, and Justin Allen's just going to be waiting back there with this win for dead duck.
All right, it's Thornton-Biddeford. The records aren't great, but it's still Thornton-Biddeford here at Hill Stadium. We'll take a break. Opening kickoff and the showdown right after this. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco as the Golden Trojans get set to enter Hill Stadium. The Tigers on the other side, and cheerleaders will have fun trying to keep the paper up for the Trojans to break through. Thornton Academy trying to break through in the win column. The last win coming back in 1991, that amazing overtime victory. The Trojans miraculously scoring in the last minute and then winning in overtime. Since then, the Tigers have been the victors in all matchups, and of course these two teams have met 4 times in postseason play in the last 5 years. Both teams coming in 4-3. Both with disappointing losses throughout the season. The Tigers getting beat the second week of the year by the Deering Rams, who have just collapsed in the second half of their season, losing big to Chevrolet last night. Out of postseason are the Rams. And then, of course, week number 3, Biddeford lost to Massabesic 25-21. Both losses coming at home at Waterhouse Field. And, of course, Tony, talking about this game, the winner gets home field advantage, the number 4 spot in the playoffs, and maybe the Tigers don't want to be home.
I don't know, Jay. If Biddeford wins, and Thornton loses, there's a very good chance that they will play again next week. And I don't think either team would feel very badly about playing each other again next week. They know each other pretty well. You're not going to have to really rehearse, go out and find that other opponent. You know each other's offenses and defense. It's a matter of execution. And To be perfectly honest, I think both these teams would actually like to play each other next week.
Well, if Thornton did lose, of course, they'd love to get redemption the very next week. It'd be a great way to set yourself up. Of course, going back to 1990, these two teams did exactly that. Played back-to-back weeks. Biddeford winning 41-13, and then a week later, they won 31-19, both at Waterhouse Field. That one in 1990, as we said. They played twice in 91 as well. The next year, back-to-back years, they played. And they played twice again in 1993. And as we said, Thornton's only win was in 1991. For 27-21, and then Biddeford came back in the Western Final, one of the best high school football games ever played. They won 29-28 here at Hill Stadium and went on to another state championship. Thornton won in 1986, their first of two state championships under head coach Dick Agresti. In 88, when they won it all, they actually lost to the Tigers that year during the regular season, 19-14. Biddeford has definitely owned Thornton Academy in the last decade and a half, and the Golden Trojans feeling this year is their year to get something done. Remarkably, as we said, both teams coming in 4-3, not the greatest records, but both teams playing very well as of late. Biddeford finishing very, very strong, as they so often do. After their loss to Marshwood, a game they played very well and could have won. They lost 15-12 to Marshwood. They then went on a 3-game winning streak with wins over Sanford, Bonnie Eagle, seniors being introduced for Thornton Academy. Chris Nightingale, the one down with the crutches and big knee brace, lost in the second or third week of the year, out for the season. Trojans having a great week last week, Tony. And of course getting most of their offense from number 11, Chris Mercier. This afternoon, they need to be diversified, as we said. The passing game going to be a big key, and of course with this wind, it's going to be a factor in which side of the field you choose, and you might throw in the first quarter and third quarter and not throw in the second and fourth. Because of the wind, you might try to keep it on the ground, but again, a quick drop, the team who can execute the quick drop, quick passing routes, I think will have more success. You try to lob a long ball up with this wind today, like you said, Justin Allen could be sitting back there looking for some lame ducks on defense, and of course Biddeford the other way around. So I think definitely got to needle the ball in there and throw it hard and quick to avoid the wind having a big factor. And I think the wind in the punting and kicking game will play into it. Booton's kicked very well this year, and of course Troy for Biddeford looking very much like his brother, I was told in practice this week, kicking some big ones, and in this kind of wind, of course, field goals from a great distance are a possibility.
Oh, definitely, and the amazing thing is they keep coming. Minho last year, Choho this year, and their younger freshman brother will be there next year.
And he kicks as well.
I saw him in a freshman game. He kicked it out of the end zone as a freshman.
Starters for the Golden Trojans, looking at their defense, and first the secondary of Kyle Shaw, Justin Allen, Chris Mercier, linebacking core of Brian Thompson, Enrac Sargent, Jared Trudeau, the defensive end, Bovi, the defensive end, Booton, outside linebacker. He's had some big defensive plays this year, and as we said, a very proficient punter for the Golden Trojans, and Jake DeRocher, tri-captain senior, middle linebacker. Brian Thompson playing with that broken thumb. You see it all bandaged up. Broke it last week, and Coach Agresti was hoping to use Thompson a little more in the backfield this week, but with the injury, I don't know how much he'll be able to use him carrying the football, and of course, very vulnerable to fumbling the ball with that hand so heavily wrapped. We'll pause now for our national anthem. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. Both teams coming in 4-3, both with disappointing losses throughout the season. The Tigers getting beat the second week of the year by the Deering Rams, who have just collapsed in the second half of their season, losing big to Cheverus last night. Out of postseason are the Rams. And then, of course, week number 3, Biddeford lost to Massabesic 25-21. Both losses coming at home at Waterhouse Field. And, of course, Tony, talking about this game, the winner gets home field advantage, the number 4 spot in the playoffs, and maybe the Tigers don't want to be home.
I don't know, Jay. If Biddeford wins, and Thornton loses, there's a very good chance that they will play again next week. And I don't think either team would feel very badly about playing each other again next week. They know each other pretty well. You're not going to have to really rehearse, go out and find that other opponent. You know each other's offenses and defense. It's a matter of execution. And to be perfectly honest, I think both these teams would actually like to play each other next week.
Well, if Thornton did lose, of course, they'd love to get redemption the very next week. It'd be a great way to set yourself up. Of course, going back to 1990, these two teams did exactly that. Played back-to-back weeks. Biddeford winning 41-13, and then a week later, they won 31-19, both at Waterhouse Field. That one in 1990, as we said. They played twice in 91 as well. The next year, back-to-back years, they played. And they played twice again in 1993. And we said Thornton's only win was in 1991. To 27-21, and then Biddeford came back in the Western Final, one of the best high school football games ever played. They won 29-28 here at Hill Stadium and went on to another state championship. Thornton won in 1986, their first of 2 state championships under head coach Dick Agresti. In 88, when they won it all, they actually lost to the Tigers that year during the regular season, 19-14. Biddeford has definitely owned Thornton Academy in the last decade and a half, and the Golden Trojans feeling this year is their year to get something done. Remarkably, as we said, both teams coming in 4-3, not the greatest records, but both teams playing very well as of late. Biddeford finishing very, very strong, as they so often do. After their loss to Marshwood, a game they played very well and could have won. They lost 15-12 to Marshwood. They then went on a 3-game winning streak with wins over Sanford, Bonnie Eagle, seniors being introduced for Thornton Academy. Chris Nightingale, the one down with the crutches and big knee brace. Lost in the second or third week of the year, out for the season. Trojans having a great week last week, Tony. And, of course, getting most of their offense from number 11, Chris Mercier. This afternoon, they need to be diversified, as we said. The passing game going to be a big key, and, of course, with this wind, it's going to be a factor in which side of the field you choose, and you might throw in the first quarter and third quarter and not throw in the second and fourth. Because of the wind, you might try to keep it on the ground. But, again, a quick drop, the team who can execute the quick drop, quick passing routes, I think will have more success. You try to lob a long ball up with this wind today. Like you said, Justin Allen could be sitting back there looking for some lame ducks on defense, and of course Biddeford the other way around. So I think definitely got to needle the ball in there and throw it hard and quick to avoid the wind having a big factor on. I think the wind in the punting and kicking game will play into it. Booton's kicked very well this year, and of course Troy for Biddeford looking very much like his brother, I was told in practice this week, kicking some big ones, and in this kind of wind, of course, field goals from a great distance are a possibility.
Oh, definitely, and the amazing thing is they keep coming. Minho last year, Choho this year, and their younger freshman brother will be there next year.
And he kicks as well.
I saw him in a freshman game. He kicked it out of the end zone as a freshman.
Starters for the Golden Trojans, looking at their defense, and first the secondary of Kyle Shaw, Justin Allen, Chris Mercier, linebacking core of Brian Thompson, Enrac Sargent, Jared Trudeau, the defensive end. Bovai, the defensive end. Booton, outside linebacker. He's had some big defensive plays this year. And as we said, a very proficient punter for the Golden Trojans. And Jake DeRocher, tri-captain senior, middle linebacker. Brian Thompson playing with that broken thumb. You see it all bandaged up. Broke it last week, and Coach Agresti was hoping to use Thompson a little more in the backfield this week, but with the injury, I don't know how much he'll be able to use him carrying the football. And of course, very vulnerable to fumbling the ball with that hand so heavily wrapped. We'll pause now for our national anthem. You're watching Thorne Academy High School football on CTV 30. Just about set for the rivalry. Thorne Academy 4-3, Biddeford 4-3. The winner getting home field advantage next week in the first round of the playoffs. And the loser waiting for the Crabtree to unfold to see will their finish up. Hope to have an explanation at halftime from George Mendros. So many scenarios. Eastern games playing into the Crabtree strength of schedule and number of points you get. Stanford Redskins with a win last night have a chance to get into postseason. Westbrook Bonnie Eagle playing today. The winner gets into postseason. The loser out. Eliminated right now is Massabesic with a loss to Sanford last night. They're out of the playoffs. Deering with their loss to Cheverus out of the playoffs. The rest all still with a mathematical chance and a Crabtree chance, if you will. Golden Trojans will receive something they haven't done too often this year. I think they've only received in one other game all season long. They like to defer and start on defense. I think the Tigers actually won the toss and did exactly that. Biddeford has won 10 of the last 11 meetings, dating back to '86. Choi with a good kick. It'll be Mercier from his 3. Coming up the near side of the field, looking for a block. A hole there for a moment, and quickly closes up. And Mercier gets it out to the 28-yard line, where the Golden Trojans will start first down and 10.
I thought there might have been a hole open there quickly for Chris Mercier, and we all know how dangerous he can be. And he'll be a big factor for Thorne Academy today. If he gets out to a good start and makes Biddeford double team him and open up that running game.
Chris Duranzo, the junior quarterback, assumes his position, and the Golden Trojans start first down and 10. Hand off to Trudeau. Trudeau, a nice hole off that right side of the line. He gets 5 yards, and a good start for Thorne Academy.
Good blocking on the right side of the offensive line for Thorne Academy, giving Trudeau a good hole, not allowing that defensive line over there to tackle him. And big John Livermore for Biddeford, a transfer from OOB, big factor today.
Brochu sets up to the far side of the field. Trojans come out in the wishbone. They go to Chris Mercier, and he's wrapped up and ripped down, a loss of 2 yards on the play. Mike LeBlanc for the Tigers, and Thornton goes to that wishbone, and the Tigers do key up on number 11. Mercier's in the backfield. they think he's going to get the ball. Thornton has to use that offensive set more and not give it to Mercier to set up that play a little more and make Biddeford stay honest on that, I think. They stay with it with the wishbone. Kyle Shaw in at wideout. He comes to the near side of the field. A 3rd down and 8. Duranzo's first pass of the day, throwing into a wind, firing out for Ryan True, incomplete. So the Golden Trojans 3 and out, and now Dave Booten will have to kick into a strong, hard wind. And again, Trojans start with the ball and have to face the wind. Biddeford with a decided field position advantage, it will appear, on this first series. Perry back to receive, stands at his 35-yard line. I think giving Booten an awful lot of respect here with the wind in his face. Good snap, not much pressure, and a pretty good kick with the wind. He gets off a good one, and Mercier fields it up right at the 44-yard line. An excellent kick for Booten. The only problem with those spirals that he gets off, he doesn't get much of a bounce or a roll. But no return, and the Tiger offense now comes onto the field, led by number 11, Ben Goslin. Goslin's 6 foot, 185-pound senior. Played solid at quarterback the last couple of weeks, and as I said, they don't have LaRiviere or Tremblay in there, but you never know. The Biddeford quarterbacks have really done the damage over the last 4 years. Double counter, wide outside. It's Jerry Drapo. Looked like he had a lot of room, and Booten stays with him and tracks him down for a gain of only a yard on the play.
Good job up front by Thornton Academy. Good job by Dave Booten stringing that play out. And I just heard, Jay, that Lewiston Never Little are canceled till Monday. The monkey wrench into the Crabtree system.
And we'll have to wait a little longer, so the halftime explanation might prove very worthy, because you'll watch this before that game played on Monday and maybe understand the implications of that game. 2nd down, handoff, and nothing doing. Big Greg Lamar right in there, along with Jared Trudeau. And a loss of a yard on play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Biddeford, running to the side of some inexperienced. Elvis Campbell-Basso, a senior, but hasn't started till this year, and a sophomore, Jamie Gagnon. Up front, you're not going to stop Greg Lamar, and he just ripped right through and threw Perry down.
A 3rd down and 10 now for the Tigers. Gagne, their primary receiver, comes to the near side. Mercier checks him up. Fake the counter, over the middle, man open, and right at the 1st down marker, Kyle Shaw with a vicious hit. Pass complete to Drapo, and the spot will be very important here. It looks like it'll be just short, and it'll be 4th down and 1 in a big decision for 2nd-year head coach Brian Currett. Not sure he's shuffling players, so it could be the punting team. And it is, as Gagne does the kicking chores for the Tigers. He stands back at his 39 to punt.
Watch out for a fake punt. Goslin is the up back. He can throw.
Low snap, no pressure from the Trojans, and a good kick. Mercier coming up. They're catching at the last minute. He's got to be careful of that. The referees could flag him for that, for not giving sufficient warning. But the Trojans do hold on their first series, and they get the ball for their 2nd attempt on the afternoon. They'll start from their own 13-yard line.
And that play Thornton ran on that 3rd down call was open, so they might go back to that. Big confusion up front in the linebacking core, had no idea how to cover True, and that play will be open if they want to go back to it.
And Biddeford running a nice play on 3rd down, but Kyle Shaw playing head-hunting safety. Counter play to Mercier and nothing. Again, LeBlanc over there. Trojans on 1st down went to their fullback Trudeau. He got 5 yards. They have yet to go back to that. Loss of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Up front, Biddeford shifting their ends when Mercer goes into that wishbone, over countering the side that Mercer would run on.
Brochu comes to the near side. Kyle Shaw to the far, double slot formation. And they go to the fullback, Trudeau. And Trudeau will give a couple, but Thorne Academy will look at another 3rd and long. And Chris Doranzo will have to throw into this wind.
Big down for Thorne Academy. If they don't get it, they're really putting Dave Booten in a hole. It's enough pressure to kick into a win, but when you have to do it out of your end zone, it becomes very, very difficult.
Ryan Howland, the tight end, brings the play in. Comes in a little bit late. Trojans have to watch the play clock here. 3rd down and 10. Wishbone backfield for the Trojans. Brochu to the near side. Chris Mercier gets the handoff and takes some punishment. Running through the middle, looked like the hole was going to open up. Tigers closed it quickly. Mercier gets 4 yards on the play, but it'll be 4th and 6, and the Golden Trojans will have to once again send out the punting unit.
Good job up front by the front line of Biddeford, not allowing Mercier to get open. And once he gets into open spaces, he creates a lot of his own running ability. And good job up front by Biddeford. Now they'll get the ball back with really good field position.
Plenty of time. Booten gets up another good one. Perry, last minute, taken down. Mercier. He wanted to set up the reverse with Gagne. He didn't have time. Chris Mercier flying downfield and ripping him down. And Booten, I mean, if that flagpole's not lying, unless this wind is really gusty, he's getting off some booming punts. The wind right in his face. Give Dave Booten another big plus. First series, the Tigers started at their own 44. This time they gain only a yard. Although the Trojans kicked from much deeper from their own territory on the second time. 1st and 10 Tigers. Hand off to the fullback. Fumble! The Trojans have the turnover, but I think we're going to get a face mask call. And I don't know. That looked like a helmet grab, not a face mask. So instead of a turnover in Thornton's football, it'll be a big 15-yard mark-off, and the Tigers will get their first down and the football. And you definitely saw the head of Keith Rule pulled back. But it looked to me like the tackler grabbed the top of the helmet and didn't really get a face mask. I don't know how to interpret that rule, if that still could be called.
Usually when you see someone's head go, it doesn't matter if you grab the top of the helmet. They will usually call that type of penalty. Tough break for Thorne Academy because they had stopped them and they had a fumble. But now Biddeford gets new life from the Thorne 40, and let's see what they can do.
Coach Agresti talking to one of the officials, trying to get a better explanation. And the Tigers get the first big momentum break of the afternoon. 1st and 10 at Thorne Academy's 40-yard line. Choi to the near side, Gagne and Perry to the far. Dallaire goes in motion, and Goslin tries to fake and run the quarterback draw. Enrack Sargent and Greg Lamar right there for the Trojans. Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Nice job by Greg Lamar again. Biddeford just trying to create space, just trying to get as many Thornton jerseys as they can out of that front. Just like Goslin run. And great job up front by Greg Lamar.
Second and 11. Tigers looking to throw again. Up on top, Goslin fires out in the flat. Got his man Drapo, and Drapo wrapped up, taken down, a short gain on the play. Booten and Mercier in on the tackle.
Good decision by Goslin. He was going to try to throw to Nate Gagne over the middle on a post pattern. Thorne Academy playing zone, couldn't find it. Dumps off to his second receiver in Drapo on the sidelines, gains 5 yards. Good decision. Now it's 3rd down, and they're in 2-down territory. They're inside the 40. You're not going to punt with the wind at your back. You got to go for it.
Third down and a long 6. Dallaire goes in motion to the far side. They run the fullback to the near side, and Rule will have very close to first down yardage. Lamar and Brian Thompson in on the tackle. A very good spot, and that should be a Biddeford first down. They'll bring the chains out. 3:47 to go, first quarter. No score between the Tigers and the Trojans. You're watching Thorne Academy football on CTV 30. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan. Dennis Avery on the camera this afternoon. Golden Trojans facing a big third down and less than a yard. But inside their own territory, they'll have to get it done on this play right here. Talked about many playoff implications, and we heard the Lewiston-Edward Little game postponed until Monday, and that game will be a factor in who gets into postseason and who sits where after this one. We do know the top 3 teams will be South Portland, Marshwood, and Portland in some order. We do know the winner of this one will be in the number 4 spot. After that, it is a lot of figuring and a lot of multiplying, figuring out the Crabtree rating system, strength of schedule, and wins the predominant factors. Third and short, Ryan True looks like he's pushing and still going. Ryan True, great second and third effort, and he has Thorne Academy another first down. Looked like he was going to have it easy, then he got blocked up and bottled up, but True kept the feet moving, kept pushing hard, and gives the Golden Trojans a first down out to the 47-yard line. Thorne Academy not only now with good field position with the ball, but now they do have the win. So the Trojans able to ward off Biddeford's first quarter efforts, and they assume the field position and win behind their backs, and this is their quarter. They got to get it done here. Shaw and Mercier go to the far side of the field. The Trojans in the eye, Trudeau and True straight behind Chris Duranzo. Duranzo rolls right. Got time, fires downfield, looking for Shaw. The ball tipped and almost picked off. Kyle Shaw getting up high and almost making a spectacular catch. Duranzo throwing into coverage, but he did have it on line for his wideout. And that'll bring up a second down and 10.
Chris Mercer's going to have to become more of a part offensively in the passing game. He's got to get out, get open. Everything in the passing game runs through him. He is a big part of their game.
Second down and 10. Brochu to the near side, Mercier to the far. The Tigers with 8 men up at the line of scrimmage. Jared Trudeau not finding much running room over the middle. And it'll be third down and long now for Thorne Academy's offense.
Big third down here for Thorne Academy. Every play is a big play, but this is a big one because if they don't get it, they're going to have to punt. They're punting back with the wind. Dave Boone's getting off some into the wind. He might kick it into the end zone.
Shaw and Mercier go to the far side of the field. Kyle Shaw getting a lot more duty early in this one at wideout. Trojans in the eye. Duranzo has some time, but then he decides to run, and a lot of extra work after the play whistle dead. And that time, Duranzo had plenty of time, and he didn't stay there and look for his receiver. Got a little nervous in the pocket, decided to run, and Biddeford closed it up quickly.
Biddeford blitz, Nick Small, number 40. Nice job of Jared Trudeau to pick it up, but Duranzo was getting flushed, ran, couldn't get anything. Now a big fourth down.
And Booton set to kick it away. High snap, but no pressure. Booton gets off a good one. And then chases Gagne all the way back to his 5. He's trying to get wide. Big block on that side. The referee looks for his flag, doesn't pull it. And DeRocha got leveled out there, and Chris Mercier was blocked on his attempt to get to Gagne. He gets up rather slow. Gagne gets a nice return back to the 18-yard line. He could have been pinned down inside his 10. And Thornton now getting the wind at their back and now taking over the field position. But Biddeford's offense with a chance to change all that with a nice drive here. They start first and 10 from their own 18. Gagne comes to the near wide side of the field. And a weird double slot formation off set. There's Rule up the middle. Keith Rule, only a freshman. 5'11", 180. And the question is he a true freshman?
And the answer is no. He is actually of my class.
Kid that size, 5'11", 180, you wouldn't think that he could have just progressed through. I mean, at some point, repeating a grade. Big kid, tough kid. Biddeford gets to enjoy him in the backfield for 4 years, and he is going to be one heck of a player in another couple of years. Goslin on the option and slipping down just as Trudeau puts a helmet on him. And a loss on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Biddeford quite young, and a lot of people said they're going to have a little bit of an off year this year, and look out the next couple. They are loaded.
Yeah, the sophomore class went undefeated last year. The freshman class is a great class. The 8th grade class, it just keeps going on and on. After this year, Biddeford's really going to get some good talent and really some very good teams.
You see their banner across the way and all those state champions. They're going to have a few more. Gagne breaks out of the pile. He could be gone. And a great play by Sargent gets just enough for Nate Gagne to bring him down at Thornton Academy's 47-yard line. 32-yard reception. Goslin to Gagne. Gagne had big games against Thornton Academy last year, and he's been somewhat quiet this year. I thought he'd have a spectacular year, and he hasn't had that unbelievable season. He's been consistent both offensively and defensively, but he's a fine receiver. And Goslin put that ball in on the money. 2 Trojans colliding, trying to make the tackle. Gagne broke out of there, and Enrack Sargent, a touchdown-saving tackle. 1st and 10, and the handoff to Lair. Off the right side, the Trojans put some big hits in there. Booton coming in late. Dennis Hunt trying to get a piece. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Going back to that previous play, Goslin really taking a chance, throwing into triple coverage. And when Thornton converged, Gagne just kind of ducked his head and everyone hit each other, and he broke away. And Enrack Sargent, lucky enough to get enough of a shoelace to let Gagne fall 7 feet downfield.
Double slot formation. Perry and Drapo in the slots. Perry fakes motion one way. Goslin looking, firing out, and Jared Trudeau puts a paw up and whacks it down. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Well, we saw the Trojans defensive ends do a great job of that last week. Well coached, well scouted. Knew last week that Ibrahim threw a lot to that side and the quick drops, and they were ready. Just a short rush, stand up, put the hands up. Trudeau doing exactly that on that play, and that brings up a 3rd down and 10. Goslin rolling left, all kinds of time out there. And now he's going to run it. Got some room, cuts inside, going for the marker. He's going to be very close. The Trojans with no pass rush whatsoever and no containment on Goslin.
Goslin did a good job on the play action pass, taking it to Rule off the right side. They fell for it, and then they pulled Jamie Gadden, the right guard, and he went out there, blocked, I think it was Justin Allen, and Goslin just threw himself for the marker and got the 1st down.
So Goslin does achieve a Tiger 1st down. It's 1st and 10. The ball now at Thornton Academy's 37-yard line. Perry hiding behind his blocking, getting 4 yards on the play. Biddeford with a nice drive going here. This one started from their own 18-yard line.
This is what Biddeford's renowned for, is their running ability. They had a tough time in the first half of the year, and they found themselves against Marshwood, a team that's now 7-0. And they've really run well since.
Gagne comes to the near side. Justin Allen marks him man for man. Run the counter this way with Rule, and Lamar again right there along with Enrack Sargent. And Greg Lamar, the senior, really making his presence felt. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Tigers, now in that 4-down territory. And of course, they could look for a field goal attempt from Choi, but remember, the wind is in their face here. Goslin on the option, stepping back inside, and a nice move by Goslin, stumbling and staying on his feet. He'll get it down to just shy of the 31, and it'll be 4th down and 5 yards for the Tigers, and Dan Dallaire brings the play in. The Tigers will go for it. No score. Midway through the 2nd quarter, and a huge play here. Goslin rolling left, looking for some blocking, now fires out in the flat, and what a catch by Dan Dallaire. Kyle Shaw had great coverage, diving and sprawling out with Dallaire, and Dallaire somehow got his hands on it, made the reception just in bounds, and has a Biddeford 1st down at Thornton Academy's 22-yard line.
What a catch. Perfect coverage. I mean, you can't ask for better coverage. Goslin threw it where only Dallaire could catch it, and that was dive hands out. And he was really suspect. Danny Dallaire wasn't expected to start at the beginning of the year, and he's really played well since the Marshwood game.
Walter Wilson checks in for Joey Bovai. 1st down and 10. Tigers on top. Firing out again, and the reception made just in bounds. It'll be Justin Drapo, number 9. Kid that changes his number more than most people change their underwear in a week.
He's gone from 60 to 6 to 9. Originally playing right guard, and then when Jared Hubert came back, moved him to tight end, and that's why you see those oversized lines on the right side.
A 2nd and 5. Rule gets crushed, but Goslin pulls the ball out nicely and scampers for a couple. Craig Lamar just hammered Keith Rule. Says, if you're getting the ball, you're going to really hurt. Goslin doing a nice read, pulling it out of his fullback's stomach and going for a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Again, in that 4-down territory now, maybe within Chul-Ho Choi's right foot. People said he was looking very Min Ho-like this past week, kicking field goals. And of course, Min Ho Choi, one of the finest high school kickers ever to come out of the state of Maine. Goslin to throw, pressure coming in, the ball batted again. Jared Trudeau gets it, and the Trojans put Biddeford in a 2nd consecutive 4th and 5 situation. And now, as you look at Brian Kurt, he's talking with Choi on the sideline, and of course Choi plays wide out too, so he could be coming in as a wide receiver, not a kicker.
He is coming out as a wide receiver. And I was very apprehensive to think they were going to go for a field goal. During warm-ups, he was having a hard time kicking 30-yard field goals into the wind. I didn't think they were going to go for a field goal. Now they're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th
and 5, the Tigers will go for it. Choi to the far side. Goslin looking that way. Pressure coming in. Fires out over the middle. The man wide open. And the reception at the 6-yard line. It is Choi. And Biddeford once again executing. And as we said at the top of the cast, or I said, Biddeford doesn't have the Riviere or the Tremblay. And we said, you know, Goslin, the difference this year for them, that he's maybe not the same caliber quarterback as those fine athletes were. And then after we went off camera, we said, watch this kid kill us. And he's having a game so far. Executing very well. 1st down and goal to go for the Tigers. Perry, the handoff, trying to hide behind his blocking, and the Trojans converge and pushing back. And only a gain of 1 on the play.
Thornton Academy doing a good job against the run, but Goslin has 73 yards passing in the 1st half. And from a Biddeford team that likes to run, that's like Drew Bledsoe throwing for 400 yards in the 1st half.
2nd and goal from the 5. Gagne and Perry come this way. Dallaire in slot formation on the right side as well. Now they send motion the other way. It'll be Rule off the left side. Got a lot of room. He's in. The Biddeford Tigers break on top. 5-yard run for Keith Rule. And the Trojans stunned and stung. Their defense has been brilliant the last 2 weeks and victimized by a couple of miraculous plays by the Tigers. Dan Dallaire, the tremendous reception on 4th and 5, really the big catalyst, along with Gagne's 32-yard reception from Goslin, and now Choi sets up for the extra point try. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Biddeford 7, Thorne Academy nothing. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
Here's some very special news from the Captain's Galley. 4 of your favorite meals are now only $12.95, and better yet, that's 2 for $12.95. That's right. Prime ribs, stuffed scallops, baked or fried haddock with the works are only $12.95, 7 days a week. Of course, the famous 2 for $10.95 meals with over 10 entrees to choose from are available Sunday through Thursdays. And start your day smart the Galley way with no cholesterol eggs and other sumptuous specials. Head over to the Captain's Galley for a very special meal. This exclusive cluster of luxury townhouses features fireplaces, custom detail, decks, a beachside patio, 7 miles of sand beach, spacious 2 and 3 bedrooms, beautiful skylights, and a lovely rose-bordered compound, only minutes from Portland, yet a million miles from today's hurried pace. This beautiful farmhouse, circa 1800s, has potential growth possibilities with a gift shop or a possible antique shop. It's a great place for an in-home business just seconds from the turnpike, priced in the 190s.
Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street, Saco is your neighborly variety store with all your daily needs in one quick stop. The biggest and best subs in town, ice-cold beer and soda, pizza, a fine deli selection, megabucks tickets, and daily specials. All ready for you in seconds for a speedy takeout. If you want to eat in, Wagner's has plenty of space for that, too. Wagner's is infamous for its gut bomb sandwich, big enough to bomb any TA opponent or to serve to the entire TA football team, who's hungry for wins and Wagner's. 188 Lincoln Street, Saco, sponsor of the gutsy player of the game.
Tony Ryan, Dennis Avery, along with Jay Harper, bring you today's action. And once again, the defense has been asked to do an awful lot for the Golden Trojans this year. And that a 82-yard drive compiled by the Biddeford Tiger offense in 12 plays. Very well put together sustained drive, coming up with consecutive 4th down conversions. 2 4th and 5s back-to-back inside Thorne Academy's 30-yard line. Biddeford executes, converts, and they cap it off with a 5-yard touchdown run from Keith Rule. And Thorne Academy now will try to answer back. Thorne's offense has struggled throughout this season. The pooch kick along the ground, trying to keep it out of Mercier's hands. It's loose, and Dave Booten has to fall on top. He does at the 29-yard line.
That's a good play by the Biddeford coaching staff. Rather giving up the field position at the 28 than put it into Mercier's hands and let him maybe go 90 yards for a touchdown.
Thorne Academy's last drive started to show some nice signs. Good running from Ryan True, the tailback. First down and 10. The handoff is to True. True getting outside. A nice tackle by Drapo. Takes down the legs of Ryan True, but True picks up 4 yards on the play.
Joey Drapo, a hard hitter. Chris Mercer stepped in a little larger of a body. Really likes to hit people, get in there. He's played a little linebacker this year. Good tackler, and when he hits you hard.
Almost 5 yards for True on first down. We'll call it 2nd and 5. Double slot formation. Fumble! And the ball on the field, and I think the Tigers got it. Mercier never had it on the exchange. Turnover Tigers, and they'll have it at Thornton Academy's 35-yard line.
I believe Joel Cassavant, number 34, another sophomore, being rotated into the starting lineup.
Only 2:05 to go in the half. Biddeford with enough time, only 35 yards from a 2-touchdown lead, and the way Thornton's offense has played this season, that would be a very large lead. Goslin keeps it, dances outside, nice moves, still going outside, my goodness. Great run, east-west, nothing north and south, but it was a nice run nonetheless for quarterback Goslin. Gained about 20 yards west.
But nothing north.
Actually, a loss of a yard on the play. Just kept dancing and having Trojans miss him on attempted tackles. 2nd and 11. Clock ticking now down to 1:10. Biddeford now has to start worrying about that clock. Goslin rolling left. Lamar chasing. The ball fired out complete. Staying in bounds. Mike Cantra on the catch. Gain of 6 yards, but the loss on the prior play, it'll set up a 3rd down and a little more than 6, and now Biddeford will use a timeout, stopping the clock at 49 seconds to play in the half. Biddeford leading 7-0.
Nothing takes a beating like the inside of your house. Kids, pets, odors, spills, the list is endless. But with ServPro Cleaning Service, your house can be spring fresh year-round. With carpet, furniture, wall, and in-house drapery cleaning, insurance claim specialist, and odor removal, no job is too big for the technicians at ServPro. If dirt and cleaning are a problem for you, let ServPro take the worry out of your life and put clean, fresh happiness in your home. Bob's Exxon and Mini Mart, conveniently located on Elm Street in Saco, is also a state liquor agency. Bob's has a large variety of your favorite brands of beer, wine, and liquor. Whether you're planning a last-minute party, get-together, or just a quiet, relaxing evening at home, Bob's has just about everything you need. Sandwiches, snacks, soda, chips, and your favorite alcoholic beverage. Stop at Bob's today and get your get-together together. Bob's Exxon and Mini Mart, there for you.
Joe, wake up.
Huh? What is it?
I think there's someone downstairs.
No, there isn't. Go back to sleep.
No, go down and look.
Come on, Sue.
Did you lock up?
Of course. Now, would you?
I don't trust those locks.
Look, I put the locks in myself.
That's what I mean.
Okay, I'm going.
Thanks, hon. Be careful.
Make sure you're secure with professionally installed quality locks.
The Golden Rooster isn't just for breakfast anymore, even though they are the best around. Saco's best-kept secret is the Rooster's delicious and economical lunches and dinners. Now, the soups are homemade daily according to Mrs. Riziakis' family recipes. And the rest of the food, well, as you can see, it speaks for itself. And be sure to leave room for the homemade desserts, because we just don't have enough room here to talk about how good they are. That's the Golden Rooster, Main Street, Saco, across from the post office.
They've done very nicely on 4th down executions, 2 for 2 in that last drive. And right here, Biddeford's offense has been very diverse, and Goslin doing a great job at executing both the option and the option pass, where he gets outside and keeps looking, and, finding room and waiting for his receivers to get open. And Thornton really needs to get a pass rush on Goslin. They've been unable to really get to him when he's looked to throw the football.
What's really helped is when they run that sweep outside where Goslin gets a guard pulling with him, they fake it to Rule, and what happens, Thornton Academy's frame of mind, it's going to Rule, we have to tackle them. They're not protecting the outside. Gosselin gets out there, has plenty of time to look, and it's good coverage, but it's a good fake that keeps Thornton honest up front, and they can't go get Gosselin outside.
Just like to mention, Thornton Academy's booster program is having a harvest fair October 29th. That's next weekend, 9 to 3 at Thornton's gym. It's sponsored by the Thornton Academy Hockey Boosters. Crafters from all over are going to be there. There'll be door prizes and other stuff. 3rd and 5. Gosselin to throw. Fires back and wide. That could be a fumble. That was thrown backwards. And they're going to spot the ball where it went out of bounds, I believe. One official standing back near the 40-yard line, and that should be, I believe, a backwards pass. So a big play for the Golden Trojans, because now they almost put Biddeford into a punting situation. All the way out to the 40-yard line and a 4th and 15. And the Tigers look like they're sending out the punting unit. So a big, big play. Gosselin misfiring on the attempted pass out to Gagne, and it looked like Gagne was setting up to catch and then look to throw.
Really a tough break for Gosselin. It was actually on the line of scrimmage, and when he threw it out there, the wind just pushed it back 5 yards. Really not his fault. And now you give the dangerous Chris Mercier another shot.
Thornton's punt rush hasn't been there today. Punt that stays away from Mercier and short enough that it's down at the 13-yard line. 35 seconds to go first half. Biddeford leading 7-0. The Tigers scoring after a 12-play, 82-yard drive, a 5-yard run from the freshman, Keith Rule. And Rule, playing 4 consecutive years, could really put his name in the scoring column in those Biddeford-Thornton matchups. And you could see that name for a number of years, and he could really rack up a lot of points against his opponent. Arch rival, if you will. Trojans have the win, but they got to be careful. They don't want to turn it back over to Biddeford either. And they stay conservative with the handoff to Trudeau. Trudeau picks up 5 up the middle. Clock now down under 10, and I think Coach Augusti will play it smart here and safe. Head to the locker room, trailing by 7. And remember, Thornton kicks off to start the second half, so the Tigers will have the lead and the football. As once again, Biddeford leading the matchup. They've won 10 out of the last 11. Looking for home field advantage next week. We'll take a break. We'll be back with halftime and a talk with George Mendros. He'll run down the Crabtree rating system for you and all the different scenarios that'll come up for next week's postseason play. You're watching Thornton football on CTV 30. Back after this. Welcome back to CTV 30's halftime show. Jay Harper being joined by George Mendros, and Thornton Academy trailing 7-0 at the half. A 5-yard run from freshman Keith Rule, and the extra point by Chu Ho Choi, and the Tigers on top. Now looking at the postseason scenarios, George, you're the expert, of course, and now, of course, a new system thrown at you. It's not heel points. This is Crabtree. And we just got a score of South Portland leading 21-0 over Portland at the half. The Edwardsville Lewiston game postponed till Monday, so that'll put everyone on hold until after that game's concluded. If you can run down all the different possibilities and scenarios, if South Portland continues to win and wins that game, they will finish number 1.
They will finish number 1. I think there's 1 out of a 5 possibility for Marshwood to finish 1, but most likely South Portland will be 1, Marshwood 2, Portland 3. If Portland were to come back and win the game, which seems unlikely right now, Marshwood would be 1, Portland would be 2, and South Portland would be 3. If Thornton Academy wins today, they will finish 4th. If Biddeford wins, either Biddeford or Lewiston will finish 4th. If Biddeford wins and Lewiston loses on Monday, which we heard earlier, it was funny because I was working the gate on the side gate to let the officials in, and all of a sudden Skip Capone and 2 of his assistants come up, and he goes, I bet we're the last people you'd expect to see today. And they canceled the game at 10:30 this morning. They weren't scheduled to start playing until 3 o'clock because they have a couple playoff games in soccer and whatever going on up there, so they wanted to stagger it. So it's different. So anyway, Lewiston, if a Lewiston win and a Biddeford win could put Lewiston in 4th place. And you still have a couple other games going on, like Oxford Hills is playing today, which Biddeford played, so that will help them. The Bonnie Eagle Westbrook winner is in. The Bonnie Eagle Westbrook loser is out. they're probably going to be between 5th and 7th, depending on scenarios. Sanford got eliminated last night with the Massabisa got eliminated last night with Sanford winning. And right now, Portland, Marshwood, and South Portland are in. Biddeford and Thornton win. They were in before this week started. With the games that went last night, it clinched a spot for Lewiston. The Bonnie Eagle Westbrook winner is in. That's the 7th team. And then the 8th team will either be Sanford or Edward Little. For Sanford, the odds look like right now will be Sanford. If Edward Little beats, first of all, obviously, Edward Little has to beat Lewiston on Monday. They need, let's see, Sanford played South Portland. So South Portland loss is what Edward Little needs. So right now it looks like Sanford's in just on the basis of that game.
And they can thank Thornton Academy for that nice turnaround to their season, and of course that miraculous win last second play, and a great thing for their program, looking like a shot at Westbrook getting in, and of course Sanford, two teams who have struggled so much over the last 10 years. That's nice to see.
And also conversely, even if Westbrook were to lose, you have Bonnie Eagle coming in first year in Class A, and they'd be getting in the playoffs. So really a good story either way on the winner of that game. That's almost like a pre-playoff game because the winner is in and the loser is out there.
All right, now we'll ask all our viewers to get out the pencils and papers and write down all that George just said. Little test here. We really need a big chalkboard when you look at all this. And of course, one of the weird scenarios, talking with the Thornton Academy coaching staff this week, and Coach Gresty saying all the different scenarios, the Eastern games playing a big part because strength of schedule factoring in, and what they do up there this week has a
huge influence.
Right.
For instance, Lewiston clinched last night because of Gardner beating Bangor, and the other Eastern team that Lewiston played, Lawrence, beat Mount Blue. So that clinched the spot for Lewiston. So if Edward Little were to beat Lewiston on Monday, Lewiston will be in the playoffs, and Edward Little will probably be out, even though they'll both finish 3-5, and Eel has the win head-to-head.
And how wacky a year is it, too, because next week's games, the East still has one more regular season game. Their rivalry day is next week. They play 9 regular season games, and only 4 teams getting in postseason for them, so they eliminate 1 week there. If you took next week's games and all the winners and factored it to us, it could change the picture completely. It could be different teams in altogether.
Could be different teams in. Obviously, some of the positions will jumble. One of the things is I don't know if the Crabtree system is going to last longer than 1 year, talking with some of the coaches, because one of the things that could have happened was, again, with the right combinations, if Portland had beaten South Portland today, Portland finishing 7-1 could have finished first ahead of Marshwood 8-0 with Portland's 1 loss to Marshwood. So obviously, first of all, Marshwood has the better record, plus they have a head-to-head victory. And obviously, I think the coaches are going to be looking at it. It's talking to Jetty Newman, the AD at Thornton earlier in the week. He said that supposedly a lot of these coaches were saying, geez, I really didn't want the Crabtree. And Jetty said, geez, I thought the vote was unanimous by the coaches. So I don't know.
Well, you've dealt with the heel systems for so long. You figured them out, and you're brilliant at doing so. And now you're really first experience this year dealing with the Crabtree. Which do you like better?
The Crabtree rewards you for your losses, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good. Westbrook ends up playing a strong schedule because they played Portland and South Portland, but they lost to them by a combined like 101-7, and they get credit for those 2 losses. I think I think the heel point again rewards you just for your wins. Maybe if they were still tied up, maybe a system that would involve the win. I don't think the losses should be as important as the wins, but maybe figured in.
Yeah, so maybe using the heel points, and then if you're tied with someone, then go to strength of schedule.
Correct.
If you don't have a head-to-head, you go to strength of schedule.
And another thing is, you got 14 teams and only playing 7. You're going to have a lot of non-head, especially if you have a multiple tie. You're not going to have everyone playing all the teams involved in the tie.
Well, we appreciate you coming up and giving us the lowdown here. Of course, now we have to sit and wait for Monday's game between Edward Little and Lewiston. Of course, I have to be played around the state for the big rivalries, South Portland, and Thornton Biddeford. This one sits at 7-0. We'll take a break. Back after this.
Vision is not enough. Saco's mayor, Mark Johnston, knows how to get things done. As Saco citizens, you know his responsible, creative leadership, setting Saco on a firm financial footing while still keeping property tax increases down. You know Saco hasn't always been this way. Who else would sue the 7th largest corporation in the world, gaining millions of dollars for public improvements? Who else could negotiate for one of the cleanest incinerators in the country and nearly the lowest tipping fees? who moved Saco's recycling program from its conception to excellence eligible for grants totaling over $200,000, whose insight reestablished City Hall as a community center and reopened its abandoned auditorium for civic and cultural events. But Mark Johnston's not looking backward. He's moving forward, always anticipating what the community needs and giving the job what it takes. On November 7th, let's re-elect Mark Johnston as Saco's mayor. Let's keep Saco moving forward.
It's Ace Hardware's 70th anniversary, and to show how much we appreciate you, we're having a special sale, and that means extra savings on our everyday low prices. We're conveniently located at the corners of Elm and Temple Streets in Saco and next to the Saco Valley Shopping Center, and open 7 days a week. Ace is the place for all your home improvement needs. So whether you're drilling or sanding, building or remodeling, we're here to help you with any project, big or small. Just ask Ace, and remember, Ace is the place.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium once again. Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan, Dennis Avery on the camera. I'd like to thank George Mendros for coming up to our booth. Wasn't easy for George to get up and down the ladder. I don't think he wants to come up to explain the Crabtree anytime soon. And hopefully enlightening all of you out there as he did us in the different scenarios. Thornton Academy loses today. They could finish 5th, 6th, or 7th. And again, the Westbrook-Bonnie Eagle game would have a big bearing, as would the Lewiston EL outcome that will now have to wait until Monday. And I don't know about the Auburnites and the rocket scientists up there deciding to cancel that one. As George said, it was scheduled for a 3 o'clock start already, and it was raining at 10:30, and they decided to let it go. But I think the weather forecasters, meteorologists, if you will, maybe had a big play in that, because they predicted heavy, heavy rains for today, and we have yet to see them here. I don't know about up north in the Auburn-Lewiston area, what's going on up there. As I said, it was raining there this morning. It did rain here a little bit this morning, but field in great shape. Wind the big factor, and not as big as we might have thought, though, because Dave Booten has been kicking very nicely into the wind, and Biddeford scored the touchdown with the wind in their face. So the person with the wind at their backs, not the big beneficiaries in the first half. Second half could be different. Looking at halftime statistics, Tony, which you've compiled for us. Again, the big glaring sign for Thornton Academy. 2 of them, 40 yards of total offense, and Chris Duranzo 0 for 2 in the passing department. Thornton needs to open up the passing game to free up the running game. Jared Trudeau running rather well, as he has for most of the season for Thornton Academy, and Ryan True having a good rushing first half, although not seeing the ball an awful lot. And then, of course, quarterback Goslin for Biddeford. 8 for 12 for 79 yards, and again, the Tiger quarterback being a big factor in this contest. And we may have sold Ben Goslin just a little short at the top of the cast, as he has been very proficient at running the offense and throwing the football. And again, Dandelier with a huge catch on 4th and 5, and the big pass play from Goslin to Gagne on the missed tackle, and Gagne springing for a 32-yard gain. Trojans rushing, Jared Trudeau 5 for 22 yards, True 4 for 17, Duranzo 1 for no gain, Chris Mercier 4 carries for only 1 yard. So the Tigers scouting and keeping a good eye on number 11. Tigers, Rappo 2 for 2, Perry 3 for 6, Goslin 8 for a total of 2 yards, Rule 3 for 12 yards, and Delaire 1 for -1. Total of 21 yards rushing for the Tigers, but the big 79, and they have a total of 100 yards. Not a lot of offense, and I didn't think we'd see too much offense in this game. Two teams being pretty much dominated by their defenses this year. Thornton's defense much better than their offense has been this season, and Biddeford about a 50-50 split on that one. They've had some good offensive outputs. They've also had some poor defensive showings, and giving up 25 points to Massabesic and 21 to Deering.
Big factor in the second half is Thornton Academy has to open up with the passing game. They're going to have to win it there back in the third quarter. If they don't get it done in the third quarter and Biddeford comes out and does like their customary 9-minute drive scoring, now you're down 14 points. You might have one possession with the wind at your back in the fourth quarter and the wind in your face, down 14 points. is not a really good scenario if you're Thorne Academy.
Well, the late second quarter drive used up a lot of clock, and it accumulated 82 of their 100 yards of total offense. It all came in that big drive. Thornton's defense hurt on 2 consecutive fourth down conversions by the Tiger offense. And again, Goslin finding the open receiver. The second reception was to Choi. He waited and bought himself a lot of time and fired over the middle to Choi, who found some room in the secondary of the Golden Trojans. Thornton to kick off. Jared Trudeau will get it done. He kicks into the offensive Mike Cantor in the middle, Perry on his left, and Drapo on his right. Wind at his back. Trudeau booms it into the end zone and through the back of the end zone. And Biddeford will start first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
You know how you were saying earlier in the game that Min Ho Choi was one of the good kickers you've seen? Jared Trudeau hasn't done a very bad job the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's really been booting the ball well off the tee and really giving the defense help, pitting the offense at their 20-yard line.
Trudeau is an excellent kickoff man. I don't know if he possesses quite the field goal kicking skills. He's straight on old English style kicking, American style, excuse me, not the European soccer style. Counterplay, and boy, that handoff almost went the other way, but instead, Perry breaks to the outside, and Mercier and Shaw finally track him down after he gained 16 yards. And that play looked like Golden Trojans' defensive lineman was going to take that handoff.
It was a very slow developing play. It was a fake to Rule in the middle, then just a quick counter back to Perry. And you're right, I thought Greg Lamar was going to come right through, and suddenly someone held him at the line, didn't allow him to come through, but Biddeford gained 16 yards on an important first down.
Gagne comes to the near side. Dallaire and Perry in slot formations. Rule offset to the left. Quarterback sneak. Goslin, quick 4-5. And boy, he's a tough guy to bring down. Look at him. That's all effort by the senior, and he wasn't close enough to hear us do our open to hear what I said, but one would think he might have. He's taken exception, and he is having himself a game. Gain of nearly 10 yards on the play. The Trojans had him held after a 5-yard pickup, and Goslin fought, kept the feet moving, and picks up an extra 4.5. It'll be second and less than a yard, and a big play here, big chance for the Tigers to go up top and try to do something big. See if they air it out. They don't. They go to Rule. Rule will have the first down, and look at the effort there. An extra 5 for Keith Rule. And Biddeford with all the momentum starting here in the second half. And now Coach Agresti sends out Nick Tabor to the defensive line, and Jim Buffard will come out for a breather.
Things were not happy in the Biddeford camp this week. The coaches were drilling them hard. There was no smiles on the kids' faces. They came here to play a game today, and they have shown that in the first 3 or 4 plays of this drive that they mean business.
First down and 10, ball at midfield. Goslin fakes, rolling left, great protection again. He's got room to run, and he's going to tuck it in and go. Gets out of bounds inside Thorne Academy's 45. They'll spot him out at the 43. So a big 7-yard pickup on first down. Thorne Academy cannot get a pass rush in on Goslin. They're defending the run very nicely, but Biddeford's offensive line of Prue, Gagnon, Campasso, Hubert, and Livermore really doing a great job at pass protecting and executing the pulling guard and moving the pocket to the right or left. 2nd and 3. Goslin keeps it. This time, nothing. As the 2 defensive ends, Trudeau and Bovai, converge and crash down Ben Goslin. A loss of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6 from the 46. And the Trojans, if they can hold here, would more than likely put Biddeford in a punting situation.
Biddeford's going to have to go back to what they do best, and that's running up the middle, changing plays quickly at the line. When they go outside, they don't have a lot of team speed, and Thorne's just running out there and capsizing anything Biddeford has before they're out there.
Pitch to Perry. He's going to try the left side. trying to get outside, cuts in, got a block, still going. Fumble, the ball's loose, and the Trojans turn a 13-yard pickup by Perry into the big turnover, and that finally gives the Thornton Academy crowd something to cheer about.
What a play. Never giving up was Greg Lamar. Got beat on his right side, went in on Perry. Perry ran downfield, the ball pops loose, and he's the one to fall on top of it.
Lamar having a huge defensive game, as he has so often this year, and again, from his left tackle position, doing a good job blocking on the offensive side, and the Trojans with the ball from their own 33. Chris Mercier outside and wrapped up, taken down by Gagne and Drapo. Joey Drapo, 21, the sophomore, and looked like that play was going to be open for some room for the little speedster. Instead, only a 1-yard pickup. The ball out to the 34-yard line. Thornton Academy, after giving up a lot of yards, they get their first turnover of the day. Pressure coming in. Duranzo rolling right, fires out in the flat, and Mercier well covered, and it's better that he didn't catch that ball because 3 Tiger defenders were right on him. He would have been thrown for a loss.
Good play by the Biddeford front 8, noticing the formation. They came with an all-out blitz. Nate Libby causing havoc. Ryan True picking him up, but making Duranzo roll right, and just great coverage. Matt Russo, Nate Gagne, Joey Drapo. If Mercier catches that, he's going to lose 3 or 4 yards. As you said, great decision by Chris Mercier.
Mercier goes to the far side along with senior Kyle Shaw. Ryan True in slot right formation. Duranzo under heavy pressure, and see you later. There was no blocking at all from the offensive line.
Kyle Shaw came in not even touched. He was going to roll right. He rolled right, and he got hit hard. Excuse me, Jason Shaw. Been doing TA games too long, Jay. Keep saying Kyle Shaw. Too many big plays from him.
Shaw, a intended receiver. He didn't even get 4 yards down the field into his pass route before Duranzo was wrapped up and thrown down. Again, the offensive line, you would have to think they were trying to set up a screen the way they all came in. High snap. Booten takes so much time, but no pressure, and he booms a beauty and kicks it away from Gagne, goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So, an excellent 44-yard kick from Dave Booten. No return yardage, so excellent job by Booten, and very fortunate for the Golden Trojans. There was no rush coming in because Booten took all day having to jump up high, get it, recompose himself, and kick it away. But if it puts on any kind of a rush, they block that one. Or they boot and run, which is probably a smart thing that they didn't. First and 10 for the Tigers. Their second offensive series here in the second half. They start from their own 30-yard line. And the first penalty of the day on the Biddeford Tigers. Offsides on the left tackle of the Tigers. I believe it was Livermore that jumped.
A lot of the Biddeford people probably saying to themselves, how couldn't we score? We're driving so well, we fumble the ball. But Biddeford's probably just as happy to fumble the ball down there, give Thornton the ball, let them run 3 plays, and give it back to them in this third quarter. Just get the win at their back in the fourth, and do all your damage there. They'll be very happy if Thornton does not score in this quarter.
8:23 to go in the third quarter. And the pitch is to Dallaire, short side of the field. Kyle Shaw gets a good shot in late. Justin Allen also in on the stop for the Trojans. A gain of 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 11. That's Biddeford's first penalty of the game, and Thornton Academy, I believe, only committing 1 in that first half, so a very well-played game as far as penalties go. Of course, that penalty was a big one. Thornton would have had a turnover and the football near midfield. Instead, Biddeford 15-yard penalty and got field position. Didn't score on that drive, but they did establish themselves in the field position war. Gagne goes to the far side, double slot formation for the Tigers. Roslin over the middle, Jared Trudeau again. Well, Trudeau and Lamar have been the defensive story for the Golden Trojans, and Jared Trudeau becoming a defensive end of professional status on that pass rush. Real smart. Puts a little pressure on, realizes he's not going to get through, sees the quarterback with a quick drop, pushes his man off enough so he can jump up, get the hands up, and knocks it down.
John Livermore blocking Jared Trudeau. Jared Trudeau didn't fall for any of that. No, didn't fall for the fake, jumped up, blocks the pass. Big third down now.
3rd down and 11. Goslin rolling right. Again, all kinds of protection. Ball fired out and diving out of bounds, trying to make the catch is Dan Delaire. And if anyone can make that kind of catch, it's him. But this time, just a little bit out of his grasp. And Thorne Academy will put Biddeford into a punting situation. The wind gusting and going very strong right now. Chris Mercier needs to stay short, not give too much respect, and hopes to get a return. Mercier yet to get on track offensively here this afternoon. We told you at the outset, banged up a little bit this week. Don't know if he's 100% or not. Low kick, wedged away, and takes a very pro Thornton Academy bounce. And Travis Roy diving at the football, and oh, that's almost a huge mistake. Luckily, he was knocked off by a Tiger player. He touches that, and it's a live football.
The most important item you'll ever possess is your health, and even though everyone knows it, most are too lazy or ashamed to do anything about it. Liberty Gym and Health Club is aware of this and has been helping people like you achieve a healthier, happier way of life since opening. Let the experienced staff help you do what's best for you. Whether you're 8 or 80, athlete or couch potato, you can power train, sports condition, or get personal training. No matter what shape you're in, Liberty Gym can help make it better because better bodies are their business.
Three-piece living room set starting at $697. Twin mattress set starting at $97. Five-piece dining room set starting at $377. USA Furniture, the home of everyday low prices.
If you've ever felt guilty going on vacation and having to drop your pet at a cold, impersonal kennel, then you should check out Shepherd Kennel Resort. They'll pamper your pet with personalized care and attend to special needs such as diet and medication. And of course, they offer full-service grooming too. Like Dale, the owner, always says, nobody can offer the sophisticated elegance of Shepherd Kennel Resort. Relax. Your pet may end up having a better vacation than you do.
Nothing is tastier than fresh peaches, and Peaches Deli, 88 Saco Avenue, Old Orchard, guarantees the freshness, quality, and homemade goodness of all their foods. Before or after the game, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or any time is a great time to enjoy a delicious specialty pizza or one of an almost unlimited variety of overstuffed subs. Call ahead, and your order will be ready when you arrive, and be sure to pick up your favorite beverages and snacks. For homemade freshness and quality, nothing beats the fresh taste of Peaches, guaranteed.
7:17 to go, third quarter, 7-0 Biddeford. And the Trojans have a big chance with the wind at their back. Ryan True through the hole, into the secondary, breaks the tackle, see you later! Ryan True to the 10, touchdown Trojans! 45 yards, and the junior running well in the first half, and right there, good blocking up front, but then Ryan True was not to be denied. Two Tigers had hands on True, and he said, I'm going yard. 7-6, the very big extra point try coming up. Jared Trudeau trotting out late, and the Trojans shift it over, looking to tie it up. Are the Golden Trojans, but remember, Chris Duranto, quarterback, is the holder. 6:54 to play in the third quarter. Good snap, good hold, good kick. We're knotted at 7. Thorn Academy, Biddeford, both 4 and 3, and both with 7. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
My name is Matt Bennett, and this is my sister Caitlin. Caitlin and I are the next generation of soccer residents and taxpayers. We in our generation want and deserve an opportunity to be free and enjoy our constitutional rights. The current mayor and his friends wish to rule our lives so much that they have even passed a law about where we can play basketball. Mr. Mark Johnson thinks of him and his friends thinks of himself as a leader. My dad will think of himself as a public servant.
And I ask you to vote for Ron Bennett in November election. Thank you.
Please vote for my dad. I love you, Daddy.
Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan and Thorn Academy and Biddeford now tied at 7 as we have an explosion from the Thorn Academy offense. They capitalize on the great field position. The wind playing a big factor in the one play, 45-yard drive for the Golden Trojans. We didn't get a time on that, how long it took Ryan True to take the handoff, break the tackle, and get downfield. But we would assume around 15 seconds for all that to elapse and unfold. And Thorn Academy opts for the 1-point tie. With a lot of football still to be played, but you still wonder about the offense, and you never know, and Thorn Academy's scoring ability. Ryan True, though, I saw him yesterday, 2 days ago, Thursday. I went up to the school, talked to the coaches, and get Biddeford stuff. And I saw Ryan True, and, of course, had him as an athlete in both baseball and basketball. Great kid. Really enjoyed coaching him. And I said, have a big day. Run hard. Be aggressive. He said, get angry. Booming kick. Cantra takes it at his 1. Comes out with it. Good decision. He's out past the 20 and gets it out to the 25-yard line.
On that play where True ran 45 yards for the touchdown, Thorn Academy caught Biddeford's middle linebackers, Nick Small and Justin Drapo, on an entire blitz, and they ran right past them. They got through the line, and they ran with about a 2-yard cushion between them, and True fit through it. He ran right past them, and he got hit once and then was gone.
Josh Gorham, number 75, makes a tackle on the kickoff. Biddeford starts 1st and 10 from their own 26. Hand off to Rule. Keith Rule gets a good 4 yards on 1st down.
That's what Biddeford has to do. They have to go back to running the ball. Really silence the Thorn Academy crowd, give their crowd some momentum. Take as much time off the clock as you can so you can get the win in the 4th quarter. Do all of the intangibles so they, in the 4th quarter, can have this game 7-7 or have a lead going into the 4th quarter.
In contrast, Thorn Academy wants a 3-play and out and get their offense back on the field with the wind and force Biddeford to punt into this very tough win. Goslin fakes, pitches out wide, and Perry does a great job to get back near the line of scrimmage. That time, Goslin misread on the option. He gives it to Rule. He rips off 5-6 yards and probably the 1st down. Goslin stopped and pitched it a little bit behind, and the wind, I think, played a factor in that pitch. Knocking it down and making Perry stop to catch it behind him.
Another big factor was Joey Bovai popping out. Goslin couldn't run in. Bovai has him, so he has to pitch it out. Bad pitch. Play continues.
3rd down and 6 yards for the Tiger offense. Pass attempt. Goslin fakes up the middle, and he's tackled, brought down. See who got him? I believe it was Trudeau.
Greg Lamar.
Well, it was one of the two. Lamar getting the ankles just enough to bring him up short, because if he doesn't make the shoestring tackle, it's a 1st down for the Tigers. And Jared Trudeau up in the air, making Goslin double pump. Again, the excellent pass rush, getting the hands up. Chris Mercia stands back at his own 45. Gagne, the punter, no pressure. And again, a low lining kick. This time a good Biddeford bounce as it'll roll all the way down to the 36-yard line. But the Trojans have the ball once again. 4:25 to play, third quarter. Thornton Academy 7, Biddeford 7. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
In 5 short years, Aldo's Trading Post has become synonymous with bargains and quality used items. Now Aldo's has outdone himself and opened a third store carrying antiques and collectibles. Everything from antique toys and furniture to collectible magazines and musical instruments. All at can't-be-beat rock-bottom prices. And college students, check Aldo's first for your dorm and apartment needs. Take it now, bring it back in the spring, and get 70% of the purchase price back. Now how's that for smart shopping? Remember, smart shopping and Aldo's make a great team.
You know what they call video rentals in France?
No what, man?
The rental de videos.
La renta de video?
Yeah.
So what do they call halfway video and more?
The halfway, the video, and more. Everyone knows that.
At Halfway Videos and More, you're going to find more copies of the current hits, more of your favorite videos, and more of your favorite beverages and snacks. Cheesy actors not included. Welcome to Jem's Cafe Inc., the new joint in Biddeford, serving lunch and dinner Monday through Friday and a knockout breakfast all day for only $2.99. You're going to be floored by the half-pound burgers, ultimate fries, and homemade chilies. Wednesday night, it's open mic from 8 to 11, and Friday and Saturday, they're open till 3 a.m. with hot food, hotter entertainment, and BYOB. Bring your own bod, bring your own bottle, but be there.
Thornton now has to look at the punting game of Biddeford and Nate Gagne, and next time if he does punt into the wind again, you would think they'd send pressure because what Gagne is using is very smart, but if there's a rush coming in, those could be blocked very easily. He's punting it low to try to go against the wind. Trudeau, first down handoff, good effort. He gets 4 yards out to the 40-yard line.
And now Thornton Academy with 3:50 left to go in the third quarter really has to get a drive going. They have to get inside the 20-yard line because then you don't have to pass. You can run, you can throw those quick short passes. Wind doesn't affect that. You're outside the 20-yard line, you have to pass, and they're not going to be those 5-6-yard passes. They're going to be the 10, 11-yard variety, and the wind really wreaks havoc on those types of passes.
Pitch out to Mercier, nothing there. Biddeford, boy, they read that play very early on. They all came firing up when they saw Mercier go in motion, and a loss on second down.
Mercier in the backfield and him going in motion is like an alarm to Biddeford's defense. Mercier will probably get the ball, tackle him. They convulge. They have 9 guys on Mercier. He gets the ball. He has nowhere to go. There's just too many guys for Thornton's offensive line to block. Biddeford comes with 9. They get him for a loss. And now if Thornton doesn't get it, the momentum switches back to Biddeford.
A third down and 10 from their own 36. Ranso has time. Fires out with the wind. Mercier getting out there, but that ball well overthrown. Wind at his back. Chris Duranzo trying to air it out. Mercier well covered on that play.
Lucky break for Biddeford. They had no one on Matt Brochu. I think they were telling Matt Russo, number 85, to go out and cover him. He went after Mercier. If Duranzo had seen that, he might have done the quick little pass. Nick Gagne playing 18 yards off the receiver. Lucky break, they get away with it, and now we'll get the ball back, barring a fumble.
Dave Booten stands at his own 24-yard line. Biddeford looking like they might come out. Another high snap, but no pressure again. And Booten has a lot of time to get one away. Gets good air under it. Perry fields it and will come straight up the middle and gets it out past the 30-yard line where the Tigers will set up first down and 10.
Good play by the 2D backs of Nate Gagne and John Perry. No fumble needed, just grab the ball, run forward, get your offense back on the field. And now with 2:31 remaining in the third quarter, it is very doubtful that Thornton's going to have a real chance to get the ball with the wind at their back. So they're going to have to do it with the wind in their face if they want to win today's ball game.
Well, the passing game hasn't been there yet today for Thornton Academy, so they'll have to get it done the way they've been doing it so far, and that's on the ground. The counter play to that's Mike Cantor. And he knifes through there for a nice pickup on first down.
He came back last week in his first Tiger game. Really just ran all over Bonnie Eagle. I think he had 90 or 100 yards. Everything worked for him last week, and that's his first carry of the day. And Biddeford keeps substituting 5, 6 running backs. They're fresh. Thorn's defense will be tired. We're going to see what type of power Biddeford has in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 2. Rule right up the middle and should have enough for the first down. Clock ticking at 1:30 to play in the third quarter. Score tied at 7. Biddeford scoring late in the second quarter. Thorn Academy evening it up midway through the third. Here's a first down, just past the 40-yard line. Tigers really can do themselves a big favor by keeping the drive alive going into the fourth quarter, because they'll shift and get the wind, and they are out near midfield with good field position. Goslin keeps it. He's got some running room. No help from the Thorn Academy defense, all on pass coverage rather than looking for the run, and Goslin rambles off another first down out over midfield into Trojan territory.
Goslin used to that type of running, nowhere near him being a baseball player and hitting 4 or something last year. He's used to having no one hit him, and when he gets out in the open field, he's a very good runner. Pretty shifty, big kid will lower his head and run right into you. Thorn Academy has to pick that up, not drop back into pass coverage every time he drops back.
Dave Booton shaken up, comes off the field limping. Dennis Hunt replaces him at outside linebacker. Rule, huge hole in the middle, oh my. Into the secondary, laying licks on Trojan tacklers, and another 13 yards, and another Biddeford first down.
Biddeford's fullbacks have always been known for their size, their power. They're basically just run up the middle, get 4 or 5 yards at a time. Keith Rule also brings another couple of aspects. He's quick, he has moves, and when he gets into the open field, he's very, very fast. One of the fastest fullbacks I have seen since Art Laveris.
1st and 10, Goslin keeps it, rolling left. Pressure coming from the weak side, Goslin firing out! And almost picked off by Kyle Shaw as he sprawled out in front of intended receiver Gagne. And that'll stop the clock with 22 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Biddeford just dodging a bullet. Goslin threw it right into the hands of Kyle Shaw. I think he might have been screened a little bit from the other cover man on that play, Justin Allen. Kind of hit his hands and was kind of surprised and just couldn't grab it in time. And now Biddeford gets another opportunity to really put points up on the board.
2nd and 10. Tigers with 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Now Dallaire goes in motion to the backside, and Goslin keeps it. Cuts inside, hit hard, but fights forward. He'll have 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6. And that should do it in the third quarter. We'll change ends. Tigers will assume field position and get the wind at their backs for the 4th and final 12 minutes in regulation. We did see overtime 4 years ago. We could be headed that way again. 7-7 our score. Back with the fourth quarter after these messages.
At Soccer Redemption Center, redemption is our only business, so we give you the best service around. At Soccer Redemption, we accept any quantity of returnables. We trust your honest pre-count. You won't stand in long lines. In fact, if you have young children or are disabled, we'll come to your car. And if your organization plans a bottle drive, team up with Soccer Redemption. We'll give you 10% above their value and park our trailer for collection at your location or ours. Party Castles is where party people go so they can get their parties off the ground. Party Castles has party supplies for every celebration. From more than a rainbow tableware to streamers, personalized balloons, and balloon delivery, Party Castles will give your party a lift. And if your special wedding day is fast approaching, a visit to Party Castles will delight you. Janine can help you with wedding invitations, rental of the wonderful balloon arch, and the wedding bell. For the most festive parties and the most beautiful weddings, you've got to get to Party Castles.
Hi, this is Bill O'Neill, owner of Bill O'Neill's House of Rock and Roll, Route 1 in Saco. For the past 7 years, we've been your local music store. No need to leave town to find the music you want. Great selection, good prices every day on CDs, tapes, and records. Be sure to check out our large selection of used CDs with over 1,000 titles to choose from. We're open daily, 10 till 8, Sundays noon to 5. Major credit cards accepted. Come in. Bill O'Neill's House of Rock and Roll, Route 1, Saco.
Men's and women's singles and doubles leagues starting October 1st. All the winners go to the Racket and Fitness Center.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan, Dennis Avery on the camera. Score tied, 7-7. 5-yard run in the second quarter from freshman Mike Rule. Extra point by Choi made it 7-0. Keith Rule, get the first name right. And then midway through the third quarter, Ryan True, a 45-yard gallop. Broke a tackle in the secondary and went the distance down the sideline. Jared Trudeau's extra point knotted us at 7. As we start the fourth quarter, the Tigers look at a 3rd down and 6 in 4-down territory. 2 big plays for the Thornton Academy defense. Nick Tabor in at defensive tackle as Jake DeRocha comes up and gets down on the nose. Goslin keeps it, trying to get outside. Now pitches wide as Justin Drapo gets knifed down, and I'd only guess, but I bet Justin Allen made the tackle.
I believe it was either Kyle Shaw or Joey Bovai.
It was actually Justin Allen that came flying in and took the legs out that he's so good at doing. He did exactly that. And so now a loss of a yard on the play brings up 4th down and 7 for the Tigers. And that time, again, not the greatest of reads by Ben Goslin, but you can't knock his performance today. He's been superb. 4th and 7, Goslin rolls right. This time pressure coming in, fires out, and incomplete, intended for Nate Gagne. And Jake DeRocher making Goslin unload that a little early and a little hurried on the play. And that causes the incompletion. The Trojans take over on downs at their own 34-yard line. So the defense answers the call. They give up a lot of yardage on that series, but they don't break and give up any points. 11-13 now remaining in regulation. Brochu comes to the near side. Mercier to the far. Trudeau into the secondary. And Jared Trudeau with 9 yards. Gagne takes him down low. But a big first down run from the senior, who's had a strong performance here this afternoon. Both sides of the ball.
Kind of fooling Biddeford. They really haven't run to Trudeau's hands today. 7 or 8 carries. And with that quick trap with the left guard coming across, Biddeford getting stunned. Trudeau gets a big hole. Gagne knifes him down. And now Thornton Academy could be starting that infamous last second drive.
Ryan True, he'll have the first down out to the 45. Ryan True running very well here this afternoon. He's the reason why Thornton Academy is tied right now. It is a first down. Golden Trojans trying to get something accomplished here in the fourth quarter with a wind in their face. Mercier comes to the near side. Kyle Shaw to the far. Trudeau and True in the eye. Jared Trudeau takes the ball from Duranzo. Only a couple up the middle.
John Livermore on the stop for the Tigers. And not a real healthy spot from the referees. I thought he might have gotten even to the 47.
An incredibly poor spot. Gain of only a half a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Clock moving. Down to 9:35 to go in the 4th. Counter fumble. Tigers got it. Goslin right there to make the tackle on Ryan True, and True was losing the ball before he even hit him, and the ball right into the hands of Goslin. And Biddeford with a huge turnover. The wind, field position, and the turnover momentum all favoring the Tigers here. Thorn's defense only a very short rest. They're back on the field. Goslin throwing in huge traffic. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Referring back to that pass play where True really never got the ball on a fumble, even if he does get the ball, I don't know if he hangs on with the type of hit Goslin gave him. I mean, he looked down to find the ball, and he went back so hard. Goslin really knocked him hard and just fell right on top of the ball. Good break for the Tigers. Now let's see if they can take advantage of that type of situation.
2nd down and 10. Double slot formation. Rule offset right. Pitch going to Dallaire. Dallaire trying to get wide. Coming in, Justin Allen. He is so good at coming up and taking out the legs of running backs. And we know about his interceptions. Ever since he was burned in Standish against Bon Eagle for the long touchdown, he has been sensational at both coverage and tackling. Not nice to burn Justin Allen. 3rd down and 10. Goslin rolling right. Pressure from DeRocher and Bovai. Bovai got a jersey, hauls him down. Joey Bovai. A loss of nearly 10 yards on the play, and Thorn Academy's defense answers again. Bovai was being blocked, and he just escaped the block and swarmed in on Goslin. No place to hide for the senior quarterback, and Bovai got jersey and threw him to the turf. And a couple of huge defensive plays by Thorn Academy. Mercier stands at his own 20 in hopes of a return. Low snap. Gagne with time, though, gets it up nicely into the air. Mercier's going to try to run it. Catches it and swarmed under. Very dangerous play, Chris Mercier, but he wants a chance to make a difference in this game. Dennis Hunt gets up, shaken up, trying to run off a sprained ankle. Chris Mercier really taking a chance there. It looked like Canadian football, where you can't call a fair catch. Ball at the 21-yard line. The Trojans and the Tigers tied at 7. 7:35 to play in the 4th. Chris Mercier trying to get inside and break the tackle. He'll get a few yards on the counter play. Nate Libby, number 31, in on the tackle for Biddeford. 944-815. A lot of money in the 50-50 this afternoon. Second down and 8. Clock moving. Mercier to the near side. Jerry Trudeau trying to get off to the left side and comes back to the right. He'll get 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards for Thornton Academy. And again, very big plays here, obviously, for both teams with the game tied. But But, of course, with the wind favoring Biddeford, Thornton would at least like to pick up a couple of first downs to try to pin Biddeford back a little bit in their attempts at scoring and potentially winning this game.
And the way Biddeford runs clock, they get the ball, they could easily run down 5.5 minutes.
Third down play. Duranzo to throw. Pressure coming in. Chris Duranzo not going down, but now they rule him down. And
Jason Shaw. Second time today. This time he got blocked once. Doesn't matter. He saw Duranzo, and he went after him and threw him down to the turf. And now Biddeford's going to get the ball back again. The change of momentum has been so crucial so far today.
And plenty of time for them to execute and potentially score. And remember, wind at the back and a Choi on the team. Field goal, always a possibility. Good snap this time. Booten again, and a nice one. The Tigers get away from it. Last minute touch the Tiger. It's loose. Trojans got it. A huge mistake by John Perry. Last second, he decided to try to play the ball. Hit him, bounced away, and Jake DeRocha, third man in. He doesn't get a penalty. He gets a turnover, and the Trojans have it inside Tiger territory with 5:10 to go. And how quickly the game can shift. Let's see if the Thornton offense now can find it. Ryan True into the secondary. A big run by the junior. He's been Thornton Academy's best back on this blustery afternoon at Hill Stadium in Saco. Thornton Biddeford, over their illustrious career, have waged many wars, and this one living up to everything. 2 4-3 teams tied at 7. 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Jared Trudeau into the secondary, and the Trojans running tough. First down.
These kids on this Trojan team want this win so badly. This group of seniors hasn't beaten the Tigers since they've been in high school. They want one.
First down and 10. The ball now at the 36 of the Tigers. Ryan True, positive yardage again. This is the 84th meeting of these two teams officially.
Oh, it has to be more than that. The 100th meeting was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but they took a few years off. Before they played, so the years are there, but this officially the 84th meeting. True comes in motion. They go counter the other way. Chris Mercier trying to get through. He'll get about a yard. Thornton Academy in that 4-down territory. So they'll have 2 plays here, 2 cracks at it. They need to get down to the 26 of Biddeford for a first down.
So many crucial plays in one football game, and it comes down to the last 250. Unbelievable ball game. Every game's been really great since the beginning of this decade, and this one's just living up to that name.
Officials, now they say Thornton Academy using a timeout. Timeout on the field, 2:40 to play. 7-7, Thornton Academy on the move. And a chance to grab glory from the Biddeford Tigers. And, of course, home field advantage next week in the first round of the playoffs. You're watching Thornton football on CTV 30.
Homeowners with an eye for quality and value turn to Maine Glass for the very best in replacement windows. They count on us to provide a window that is easy to maintain, durable, airtight, and energy efficient. That's why we at Maine Glass are proud to be an authorized dealer of the Regency vinyl window system. Regency windows require nothing more in the way of maintenance than an occasional wipe with ordinary soap and water. Glass cleaning couldn't be easier with Regency's Easy Clean Tilt-In feature.
Maine Glass, we do it right for you.
If you own a TV, VCR, camcorder, or microwave, you need Seacoast VCR. A great selection of current and popular videos is only part of the professional-friendly service you get at Seacoast. Both Terry and Gary are experienced technicians. They give free estimates, have a complete line of video accessories, and $15 VCR cleanings. They also pay cash for broken or unwanted VCRs and previously viewed movies in the original sleeve. The bottom line, before you throw it, repair it at Seacoast VCR.
When you're hungry, nothing beats delicious homemade brick oven pizza, except 2 brick oven pizzas. And that's exactly what you get at 2-for-1 Pizza and more. That's right, 2 great pizzas for 1 great price. And not only pizza, everything on the menu is 2 for 1. They have an incredible selection of brick oven subs, Syrian pockets, traditional Italian dinners, and Greek specials, as well as garden fresh salads. Even the beverages are 2 for 1. So grab a hungry friend and your appetite and call 2-for-1 Pizza and more for the best meal and best deal in town.
For over 17 years, the Carey family has been preparing delicious food and entertaining families with the same love, care, and devotion you'd show your own family. In order to ensure the freshest, most economical food possible, they buy from their and your neighbors like Shaw's, Shop and Save, and Mike's Fancy Cakes, as well as local produce. And they support many local causes like the schools and Little League, to name a few. So the next time you feel like a game of darts, Monday night football, karaoke, or just a delicious meal, visit your good friends at the Careyman Pub. They're expecting you.
Dennis Avery, Tony Ryan, along with myself, Jay Harper, witnessing another exciting Thornton-Biddeford matchup. Trojans and the Tigers tied at 7. Thornton Academy getting the huge turnover on the mistake of John Perry. Last-second decision to try to field the ball. Touched his helmet, bounced off, and the Trojans were there. 3 players banging in, the third man in, Jake DeRocher, recovers. 2 strong runs back-to-back from True and Trudeau. Give Thornton Academy a first down. Now 2 plays in a row. Have only gained 3 yards, and the Trojans look at a big 3rd down and 7. They need to get down to the Biddeford 26 for a first down. See what Coach Agresti and his staff have in store. Double slot formation, Mercier in motion. Counter back with Chris Mercier. Throw into the secondary. Mercier, first down, Trojans. What a great play and call by Thornton Academy.
That was a great call by Dick Agresti. Knowing that Biddeford's going to shift when they see Mercier go in motion, counter back the same way. You're going to create a big hole, and with Mercier's speed, the hole doesn't have to be there very long. Another thing this reminds me of, South Portland Gardner, first week of the year, 7-7 at the end of regulation. I don't like that.
Final score with that one was something 36-35. Trojans trying to not have overtime factor into this one, as they are on a potential game-winning drive. Started from the Biddeford 48-yard line. Their first drive for a touchdown was a one-play 45-yard drive, if you will. Loosely usage of the term drive.
Big key here, though. If the wind's at your back, 30 seconds to go, they might think about kicking a field goal. The wind in your face, that's going to be very, very difficult.
They're getting close to field goal range. Ryan True comes way to the near side of the field. This is a rare occurrence. And Mercier, the tailback. They go to Chris Mercier, and Mercier, nothing doing. And that time, a little bit of a handoff problem. Duranso doesn't get close enough to Mercier. Mercier had to slow down to try to get the ball from Chris Duranso, and that causes the slow up in the play and Biddeford's pursuit there and a loss of 2 yards. It's 3rd down and 10. And again, the ball at the 25-yard line. Thornton in 4-down territory, so still 2 plays here. Trudeau the lone back. 3 receivers to the far side. Duranzo gets away from one man. He can't get away from Campasso, the second. Campasso makes the tackle and a loss on the play, and Thorne Academy will have to use a timeout. And 35 seconds to go now in the game, so looks like we're headed for OT.
Ah, OT. Brings back fond memories of last year's state game.
And of course, these two teams played overtime back in 1991. The only victory for Thornton in the last 9 years. And the miraculous last-minute drive by the Golden Trojans. And of course, there was a huge 4th and 19. And a Kirk Purvis to Matt LeBlanc reception prolonged the drive and set up the heroics of Purvis to Karen and the touchdown. Of course, the extra point, good by Art Laveris, and then the Art Laveris touchdown in overtime, and Trojans cause a fumble on Biddeford's attempt, and Thorne Academy has a W, only to be snatched away by the 5th-ranked Biddeford Tigers in the Western A final that very same year here at Hill Stadium. Tigers returning the favor, scoring in the last minute, and beating Thorne Academy 29-28 on their notorious 2-point conversion at the end of a contest.
That was a big play by Elvis Campobasso, because if they get 3 or 4 yards, field goal is a possibility. Now it's a 47-yarder and the wind in your face. I don't know if Morton Anderson could hit a field goal from that far.
Kyle Shaw comes to the near side. Chris Mercier also checks up on this side of the field. Ryan True in slot right formation. Duranzo has time. Looking deep down the field, firing out. Mercier's there! Oh, baby! 28 seconds left. The Trojans first and goal from the 4. And I don't know what Justin Drapo's trying to plead. He's trying to say Mercier's out of bounds. He landed inbounds. And Thorne Academy, first down and goal, 28 seconds to go. And yes, we relived that play from 1991, Purvis to LeBlanc. This time it's Duranzo to Mercier. Trojans, first and goal, Jake DeRocher in the backfield. The handoff to Jared Trudeau off the left side. He's down to the 2. Time a factor. Trojans, only 1 timeout left. And Thorne Academy, I think Coach Agresti setting up a field goal here on the last play of the game. Down to 5, 4. They stop the clock at 4. It'll be Jared Trudeau and the kicking tee. Wow. What else can you say? Wow. I don't know. I mean, again, Trudeau's got a good foot. He's kicking into the wind. It's just like an extra point try here. And Trudeau's been so good all year long. But you use the timeout. You got it second and goal from the 2. But if you run it, as you said, that was their last timeout. Having to use timeouts earlier in the drive really hurting their chances at just putting it in the end zone and punching it in. Now, my goodness, you got the snap, the hold, the kick, the wind, all factoring in a Thornton-Biddeford game. The winner assumes the number 4 spot in the playoffs. They'll be at their field next week hosting potentially Lewiston or Bonnie Eagle.
And what a big play for Chris Duranzo. First completion of the game. 27 yards with 27 seconds to go. A little bit of pressure can do amazing things for a quarterback.
Well, in the last decade of Thornton football, one of the best big play go-to guys was Matt LeBlanc. We recall that play, and now in this season, there's no bigger go-to guy this year than Chris Mercier. Timeout called by Biddeford, trying to ice the senior Jared Trudeau, and you're going to look down on the sidelines, and Thorne Academy Brian Howland and Dave Bruton just huddling up, don't want to watch, away from the rest of the team in solitude and in prayer. And seeing if their teammate, Jared Trudeau, can answer the call. Now Howland gets up. He's pumped. Of course, Mercier has been there all season long. As you said, Durant saw the completion against the wind. He threw it out there, and Mercier, again, up in the air, coverage around him, makes the catch. I mean, the kid's got just tremendous hands, and he's just such a all-around football player. It'll be a 20-yard field goal attempt for Jared Trudeau as Coach Agressi walks off the field. Everyone thought this might come down to a field goal, but everyone thought it would be the leg of Chul-Ho Choi. It's the American-style kicking of Jared Trudeau. Chris Duranso, the holder. Good snap, good hold. Trojans, no! They say it's wide. The fans from Thornton don't know yet. They thought it was good. It's not.
And it continues.
My goodness, I don't believe this.
Half the student body of Saco is out on the field, and the game's not even over. This is unbelievable. This is football at its finest.
From our vantage point here, I waited to see the officials work. It looked good. And that's what the crowd thought, too. But that ball sailing wide left, I believe.
Wide right, I believe. They say it sailed wide right. Oh, my goodness. Welcome to, if this is your first game, welcome to the rivalry.
No time left on the clock, and we're headed for overtime. Thornton Academy, Biddeford tied at 7. We'll take a break. Back with OT.
Are you building new or
T right now, T. Go special, 60 special. No!
Tell him that's us. We're in the middle of field. Number 1.